So, hello, dear aspirant, welcome to all in second video of chapter coordination compounds. Okay, in last chapter we have discussed some basics definitions of coordination compounds. Today we will see a very important topic which is definitely asked in the examination for 2 mark purpose. That's why it is the professional topic. You have to keep ready for that topic. Okay, so let us discuss today. Our first topic will be Werner theory. Okay, the name of scientist Werner theory. Okay, so very famous theory in the zone of coordination chemistry. Alfred Werner, who received already a Nobel Prize for his deed or work in the zone of coordination compounds or coordination chemistry. So there can be a 2 mark question in the examination. What are the postulates of Werner theory? See here, I am exactly writing the question here. What are the postulates of Werner theory of complex or coordination compound? Or same question can be asked, write a short note. Okay, so what happened, everybody see here. For the Werner theory, we will assume one example here. We will consider one example, CONH3 by 6 and Cl3. So this is your example. Okay, now what happened? According to first postulate of Werner theory, Werner said that every central metal atom or ion in the coordination compound should exhibit 2 type of valency. How many type of valency? 2 type of valency. Okay, valency. Okay, number 1 is the primary valency. See here, primary valency, and next one is the secondary valency. Very important terms, secondary valency. Now what is meant by primary valency and what is meant by secondary valency, we have to discuss here. So primary valency is nothing but it is the oxidation state exhibited by the central metal ion, we can say. Okay, in fact what happened, primary valency is also known as ionizable valency, ionizable valency, while secondary valency is known as or is non-ionizable valency. Non-ionizable valency. It means what, everybody see here. Now what is this? This is your complex. I am writing here again, CONH3 by 6 Cl3. Okay, so what happened? This is your inner sphere. What is this? This is your inner sphere. Let us write here inner sphere, or we can say coordination sphere. Okay, now this is where 3 Cl are available. This is your outer sphere. Okay, which is also called as ionizable sphere. Okay, now this 3 chlorine atom will be ionized, but this coordination sphere will not. Okay, so what will happen if we write here in this way, CONH3 by 6 Cl3, then it will be like this. Okay, it will be like this. See here, it will become CONH3 by 6 plus 3 plus 3Cl minus. Okay, and that's why the ion which is outside the coordination sphere exhibit primary valency, and therefore primary valency of cobalt is plus 3 here. What is the primary valency? Primary valency is here plus 3. Okay, and it is satisfied by the ions present outside the sphere or present outside the coordination sphere, we can say. Okay, now see here, let us back to the secondary valency. Now secondary valency is simply nothing but the total number of ligands which are attached to the central metal atom or ion. Okay, central metal atom or central metal ion, and it is definitely not ionizable. It is definitely what? Not ionizable, and that's why see here, After even ionization, these 6 amines, I mean ammonia molecules, are stick to the central metal atom or central metal ion. Therefore, the secondary valency, here we can write primary valency which is ionizable is +3 and secondary valency which is non-ionizable is the 6. Okay. Now next point, what happened? Generally what happens, see here, secondary valency is nothing but the coordination number of the complex, or that coordinate compound. Therefore 6 is the coordination number. Okay, 6 is the secondary valency as well as coordination number of that complex or coordination compound. So that is the basic difference between the basic difference between the primary valency and secondary valency. Okay, so please repeat this explanation and try to understand what I am saying. Primary valency present outside the bracket, outside the sphere, and which satisfied, primary valency means what? These outer ions satisfy the primary valency of the metal, while these 6 ligand going to satisfy the secondary valency of the central metal atom or ion. Okay, here primary and secondary valency are respectively 3 and 6. Okay, after that, next point which is very important, secondary valency. Okay, secondary valency tends to determine the geometry of the complex. I mean to say, whatever geometry complex has, okay, tetrahedral, octahedral, pentagonal, trigonal, bipyramidal, square, planar, etc. All this is decided or determined by the idea of the secondary valency, and therefore secondary valency is also very, very important. So what is the role of secondary valency? According to or based on the secondary valency, we can predict the shape or geometry of the complex. Is it? Okay. Now see here. What happened if we try to draw this? See here. Same example. What is that? Hexaamine cobalt chloride. Hexaamine cobalt chloride. So here we can write here, see here, CONH3, NH3, again here NH3, here NH3, here your NH3, and here your NH3. So what happened? Each ligand it coordinated with the central metal atom or ion via coordinate bond like this. Okay, and see here I am writing here dash 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 Cl, Cl and Cl. Now see here, this solid line indicates what? Secondary valency, while this dotted line indicate the primary valency, and primary valency is 3 here while secondary valency is the 6 here. So this is according to Werner theory of the complex. Okay, this is according to the Werner theory of the complex. So in this way you have to write at least 5 to 4 points for the topic or question, what are the postulates of Werner theory. Okay, after that we will switch on very important task, that is called as the nomenclature. See here, nomenclature. So in nomenclature, first what you have to do, see here, first in nomenclature you have to read the rules given by the IUPAC. Okay, here directly we write some complexes and try to write their name. So try to understand in brief. Okay, I am not going to explain in detail. For example, see here, we are going to write the complexes here, FeCN/6. Okay, after that K3Fe we can write here Cl/6. Okay, after that we can write here CONH3/6 Cl3. Okay, after that we can write here many more complexes, CuNH3/4 2+ complex ion. After that we can write here Cu, or simply you can write chromium Cn, or write here NH3/4 + 2. Okay, after that PT Cl6 3-, or you can write here 4-. Okay, now see here, these are the various example of the complex. Now what happened here, while writing the IUPAC name, I-, Cl-, Br-, OH minus, H2O, NH3. Okay, many more ligands are there. After that, C2O4, 2 minus. Is that clear? NO2 minus. Again, SCN minus, NCS minus, ambident ligand. Okay, so here it is the iodide. So while writing the name, we must write here iodo. What is this Cl minus? We must write here chlorido. Exactly, chlorido, if they are the part of ligand. What is this? Bromide, so it will be bromido. Okay, iodo, chlorido, bromido. What is this? Hydroxo. Exactly. What is this? Aqua. See here carefully. Aqua. Okay, what is this? Aqua. Amine. See the spelling, what I am writing here, amine. Okay, what is this? Oxalate, oxalic acid ion, it will be oxalato. Okay, it will be oxalato. Here nitrato, nitrato. Here thio, cyanato. Here iso, thio, cyanato. So etc are the names which we have to write during the nomenclature of the coordination compound. So in this way there are slightly different nomenclature in the coordination compound. By having practice you may get that idea. Okay, now after that, while writing the name of central metal atom or ion, we must add their ATE. For example, cobalt, cobalt, then it will become cobaltate. Gold, aurate. Chromium, chromate. Okay, nickel, nickelate, nickelate. Okay, so in this way we have to write the entire name of the metal by having ATE at the end. Again remember, okay, so let us see, don't worry about that. After the name of metal, you have to write its oxidation state inside the bracket, like 1, whatever 2 or whatever 3, in that way. Okay, now back to the point. If there is a mentioning of bidentate ligand, what I am saying, if there is a mentioning of bidentate ligand, then we have to use the prefix like bis. Okay, bis. If tridentate, then we have to use what? Tris. Bis for bidentate, tris for tridentate. If fourdentate cell, then you have to write what? Tetrakis. Tetrakis or pentakis. So in this way you have to write the IUPAC nomenclature of the coordination compound. Now let us write the name one by one. So see here everybody what happened. Okay, now don't be confused. I am simply going to write the nomenclature. By having practice you will get the idea. Okay, now see here how I am starting. Okay, if counter ion is at left hand side, if counter ion is at the left hand side, now here K3 is given. See, this is the special case of the complex compound. K3 is given, then don't use mono, di, tri, etc. What you have to do, simply write potassium. For counter ion, don't try their numbers. Okay, so it will be potassium, potassium. Okay, potassium. Then after hexa, you know very well in the organic chemistry you have seen this many times. Okay, hexa, cyano. It is cyanide, so in IUPAC it will become cyanoferrate. What is that? Ferrate. Now what is the oxidation state of iron here? No doubt the oxidation state of iron is +3. Therefore we must mention here Roman 3. So in this way we can write the name. After that, this one. What is the name? Just see what I am writing. Potassium. Potassium. Okay. After that, hexa chlorido. Hexa chlorido ferrate. No doubt it is again ferrate, and here Roman 3, which is nothing but the oxidation state of the central metal ion. After that, next, by practice you will get the idea. Just trust me, very simple. If you read all the nomenclature present in your textbook or guideline whenever, whatever, then you will realize that the nomenclature is very easy portion. Again, keep in mind, exam point of view, such a type of objective type of matter definitely asked in the examination rather than primitive explanation. Okay, after that, see here. Now here counter ion is available, but at the right hand side. Already I told you, if counter ion is the part of positive charge, it is at the left hand side. If negative, then it is at right hand side. So what to do here? Start from here. Hexa. We are starting from the ligand. Hexaamine. Exactly. Cobalt or cobaltate. What is the oxidation state? +3. Already we have discussed that thing. Okay, calculation of oxidation state. Cobaltate, and here simply write the chloride. Don't write trichloride. Okay, simply write the chloride, not trichloride. That is the thing. After that, see here. Now, this is your cationic complex. Let us say. Yesterday we have seen what's meant by anionic complex, what's meant by cationic complex. Okay, so this is your cationic complex. So it will become how? See here. Tetra, okay, tetra, amine, like this. Cuprate, what is this? Cuprate, how many oxidation state? No doubt +2, because ammonia is the neutral ligand, okay, and don't forget to write here ion, because it is the ion. After that, similarly, tetra, amine, what is that? Chromate, chromate, tetraamine chromate, no doubt it will be +2 ion. Okay, so oxidation state is mentioned in terms of Roman figure. See here, hexa, okay, hexachlorido, then platinum, how many? +2, Roman 2 ion. So in this way we can write the nomenclature. Okay, after that, see here. Again we will see many more names. Now, for example, if such a type of compound is there, cobalt, H2O4, is that clear? NH3/2 and Cl3. Now, this is a heteroleptic complex which contain more than one type of ligand. Heteroleptic complex which contain more than one ligand. In that case, just like organic chemistry, we use alphabetical fashion. Similar to that, we have to use here. So it will become what? See here. This is the aqua and this is the amine. Aqua amine. So let us write here. What happened? Diamine. Exactly. Diamine. Tetra. Aqua. Okay. Diamine, tetra, aqua. Cobalt, what is the oxidation state? 3 chloride. Very fine. In this way you have to use. Okay, after that, see next case. Let us write Fe, Cn/4. Okay, then let us write Cl, let us write Br. Okay, so see here, it will carry how many charge? It will carry -3 charge. Then how to write? Bromide, chloride, cyanide. So it will be bromido, chlorido, tetra, cyano, exactly, ferret, Roman 3 ion. So in this way you have to write the nomenclature. If it is like this, CO En/2, okay, CnEn/2 and H2O +3. Now see here what happened. What is the coordination number of this complex? 6 is the coordination number. Here water is the unidentate, but ethylene diamine, it is the didentate, and therefore didentate into 2, 4, coordination number 4 +2. Therefore it is the 6 coordinated complex. Coordination complex having coordination compound with number 6 coordination number is there. Okay, so how to write the name? So here we know, in case of such a type of bidentate ligand, we must use what? Bis. Okay, so here we write what? Diaqua, bis, diethylene amine, cobaltate. What is the oxidation state? Both are neutral, so +3 is the oxidation state. ion. So in this way we have to complete the nomenclature. Okay, you can see many more for that. For again, everybody see here, if it is like this, NiCO4. okay, so what to write? Tetra. What is this? Carbonyl. Tetra carbonyl. Nickel, it will become nickelate. It will become what? Nickelate 0, because it has 0 oxidation state. Okay, after that, platinum, Cl2, or it is enough for I think. Okay, so many more example we can write here. Okay, so just observe this. So in this way we have to go for the nomenclature, and trust me, many times we have found that there is question 1 or 2 mark question on based on the nomenclature. So revise the video. If you not understood properly, then try to understand again. You can take the support of textbook as well as whatever notes you have. Okay, dear aspirant, this is about the nomenclature. You may have better experience about them, just feel it and study it. Now see here, now it is most important to have an idea about the calculation of the oxidation state, because unless and until we are able to calculate oxidation state, many more facts like effective atomic number, prediction of coordination number will become slight hard. Are you getting what I am saying? Will become slight hard. So see here, many times I am going to write the complex here, CONH3 by 6 plus 3. Okay, this is your first complex. After that, FeCN by 6 minus 3. After that, FeF6 3 minus. Okay, after that, CuNH3 by 4 Cl2, etc. So here our target is, what is the target? See here, calculation. See carefully, calculation of oxidation state. Calculation of what? Oxidation state. Then how to calculate oxidation state? Listen carefully what I am saying. How to calculate oxidation state? Then see here, just underline the central metal ion, whatever central metals are there. Now see here, so let us discuss the case of cobalt, hexa. Okay, now see here, so it will become X plus 6. Now ammonia is the neutral ligand. Okay, what is ammonia? Ammonia is the neutral ligand and hence carry 0 charge, which is equal to overall charge, and therefore the oxidation state of cobalt is found to be plus 3 here. Exactly, plus 3 here. In this way we have to study. After that, here X plus 6. Now cyanide carry minus 1 charge. How many charge? Minus 1 charge. Therefore it will become this one. Okay, so as usual, calculate. Last year in the redox reaction we have seen how to calculate oxidation state. Exactly, 100% parallel rules are there. Okay, nothing to be discussed in extraordinary way. So X will become how many? Minus 3 plus 6. So it will become how many? Plus 3. So plus 3 is the oxidation state of ferrous. And you got one idea, while writing the nomenclature we essentially require oxidation state, because in that parenthesis we must mention what? Oxidation state. After that, see here, here again if you calculate X for Fe, okay, after that 6. Fluorine carry no doubt unit negative charge, which will be equal to minus 3, and finally it will become how many? X will be equal to minus 3 plus 6, so total charge will be plus 3. Therefore oxidation of Fe found to be plus 3 here. Okay, after that come to this complex. I am simply going to calculate what? Oxidation state. Okay, why? Because our next topic is the effective atomic number, and in that case we need this one. Okay, very important to know. After that, X plus 4. Ammonia is the neutral ligand, therefore 0, okay, is equal to how many charge? This complex ion definitely will carry +2 charge. Why? Because 2 Cl are there, therefore I am writing here +2. Understood? Okay. So first ionize them, you will get the idea, no doubt. So X will be equal to +2. So respectively oxidation state found are what? See here, cobalt +3 here, here again +3 and +2. Okay. So in this way we can calculate the oxidation state. Again we can take one more example, nickel CO/4. Now see here, this is the exact case of neutral complex. Okay, not cationic, not anionic, neutral complex. Then here what happened? Let us take the X is the oxidation state of, okay, X is the oxidation state of nickel +4. Now carbonyl neutral ligand, therefore 0 will be equal to 0 being neutral molecule, and hence X will be equal to 0. So here oxidation state is found to be big 0. Okay, so in this way we can do that thing. After that, see here, sometime what happened? FeCN, no, it is already completed, so okay, is that enough? Now in this way we can calculate the oxidation state. Now our next topic, what is mean by EAN? I am writing here, see here, what is mean by EAN? Okay, exam point of view, very important, EAN. So EAN means what? Effective atomic number. Okay, in short it is written as EAN, effective atomic number. Now see here, effective atomic number is defined as the total number of electrons. It is the number of electrons which are available or which are present surrounding to the central metal atom or ion, which is calculated as the sum of the electron of that central metal ion as well as the total number of electrons donated by ligand. Donated by what? Donated by the ligand. Okay, and therefore we have the formula EAN is equal to Z minus X plus Y. Okay, what is the formula? Z minus X plus Y. Now see here carefully, one by one. Just try to understand. Even blackboard is not so clear, but where there is hope, there is a work, no doubt. So what happened? What is the formula of effective atomic number? See here, effective atomic number, already I defined that. Okay, so effective atomic number will be equal to Z minus X plus Y, where what is Z? It is the atomic number of central metal ion. Okay, what is X? X is nothing but the oxidation state. Already I discussed that how oxidation state is important to you. Okay, so it is the oxidation state of central metal ion, exactly. And what is Y? Y is the total number of electrons donated by, okay, donated by ligand. Okay, remember this. Now see here, if monodentate ligand is there, it donate 2 electron. If bidentate, so 2 donor at site, therefore 2 into 2, 4 electrons. If tridentate, then what happened? Then 3 into 2, 6 electron. Okay, so see here, question, very important, under the title calculate effective atomic number for the following complexes, for the following complexes or coordination compounds. So let us take 3 to 4 cases. You can study more than that, no problem. Number 1, see here, CONH3/6 plus 3. Okay, so what happened? See here, effective atomic number is equal to, what happened? What is the formula? Z minus X plus Y. Again, provided you should know at least 3D series element, 4D series element along with their atomic number, along with their what? Atomic number. Now everybody know cobalt. Okay, so cobalt have atomic number 27, no doubt, yes or no? After that, what is the oxidation state? +3 is the oxidation state, therefore X has a value 3 plus Y. What is Y? Y is the total number of electron donated by the ligand. So each monodentate ligand, bidentate or tridentate, you have to decide. Now ammonia is the monodentate ligand. Okay, ammonia is the monodentate ligand. Therefore it will be 2 into 6. Okay, so what happened? 27 minus 3 plus 12. Okay, so finally we will get here how many? 36. So effective atomic number is found to be how many? 36. See here, generally effective atomic number is equal to atomic number of the inert gases. Sometime, always it is not necessary, always we will get 36, 54. Sometime they are less or more than by 1 or 2 unit rather than that of atomic number of the inert gases. But many times it is seen that we get, for example, 36. What is 36? Atomic number of krypton. Okay, it is chances to get that value. Okay, after that see here, next. I am writing here Fe F6 3 minus, exactly. So here let us calculate effective atomic number will be equal to iron. What is the atomic number of iron? Okay, what is the atomic number of iron? It is 26 minus 3. Why 3? Because 3 is the oxidation state of iron here, plus 2 into 6. So again we are getting how many here? See here, 26 iron, 3 plus 12. Okay, so we are getting here 35 effective atomic number. Now let us discuss next case here. See here carefully. I am writing new complex CO En by 2 H2O by 2. See carefully what I am saying. Both are neutral, that's why I am writing here like this. Okay, so effective atomic number will be equal to Z minus X plus Y. How many Z? Atomic number of cobalt is found to be 27. So 27 minus X. X, what is X? Oxidation state of cobalt. Already we have calculated. It is 3 plus. Now it is very important. Now here heteroleptic complex is there. Now see here, 2 bidentate and 2 monodentate. So see here, each bidentate ligand give how many electron? Monodentate ligand give 2 electron. So each bidentate ligand will give you 4 electron. Therefore I am writing 4 into 2 exactly, plus monodentate, so it will become 2 into 2 exactly. So calculate the total. How many? We will get 27 minus 3 plus 4 into 2, 8 plus 4. So it will become how many? 27 minus 3 plus 12. So you can calculate. Again we are getting the same value. What is effective atomic number is equal to 36. So in this way effective atomic number are calculated. Okay, again let us take another neutral complex NiCO4. Exactly. So what happened here? Okay, so effective atomic number, okay, so will be equal to Z minus X plus Y. What is Z? Atomic number of nickel found to be 28 minus oxidation state of nickel is here is 0 plus carbonyl monodentate ligand 4 into 2. So it will become 28 plus 8 and total will be again 36. So in this way effective atomic number is calculated. Okay, again we will take another one example which is very lengthy example. Let us write here Fe, see here, Cl by 4, Br and here I. Don't worry about this, whatever may be the nature structure of the complex we can calculate, no doubt. So it will become minus 3. So everybody see here, effective atomic number, it will be equal to Z minus X plus Y. Iron 26, oxidation state if you calculate you will get 3 plus okay. Now see here, 4 into 2, after that 1 into 2, after that 1 into 2, all are monodentate ligand. So you will get what? Plus 8 plus 2 plus 2. Okay, so finally we are getting this equation 12. Okay, how many? It will be 35. So see here, Very crucial. Already I told you the significance, vitality of this topic. It's very important exam point of view, and do this topic initially first. Okay, in next video we will see the isomerism in the coordination compound. That will be theoretical topic, illustration will be high. Okay, but today's lecture is very important exam point of view, as it contains such a type of simple tricks. Okay, so all of you kindly watch up to the end, do subscribe, and please whatever data you can take from this, please kindly do take it and make your own profit. Okay, thank you.